Welcome to Heaven Awaits. I'm Lee, your guide on a journey into the extraordinary, where the veil between life and eternity is lifted. Here, we explore the profound experiences of those who have stepped beyond the boundaries of this world, only to return with stories of light, love, and mystery. In this space, we uncover the voices of those who have glimpsed what lies beyond, a place of radiant beauty, infinite peace, and sometimes unsettling truths. Their stories are filled with awe, hope, and the unshakable sense that life does not truly end but transforms. If you are captivated by these tales of life after life, I invite you to join our growing community. A simple click to like, subscribe, or ring the notification bell ensures you will never miss a moment of these deeply moving accounts. So, find a quiet spot, pour your favorite drink, and let's embark on today's remarkable journey together. The moment I opened my eyes, I was enveloped in a sense of peace so profound it felt otherworldly. But it wasn't the peace that first struck me, it was the silence. A silence that wasn't empty but alive, like it was holding its breath, waiting. My story begins on a seemingly ordinary day. It was October 17th, 2010, and I was preparing for a routine gallbladder surgery. The doctor had assured me it was a straightforward procedure. In and out in 2 hours, he said with a confident smile. I trusted him, believed him, even as a faint unease lingered in the back of my mind. My husband kissed my forehead and squeezed my hand before they wheeled me away. I'll see you soon, I whispered, unaware that I was making a promise I might not be able to keep. Once in the operating room, the fluorescent lights blurred above me as the anesthesiologist leaned in. Count backward from 10, he said. 10, 9, 8. And then, nothing. When I became aware again, I wasn't in my body. At first, I thought I was dreaming. The room was chaotic, doctors shouting, nurses scrambling. I floated above them, confused and detached. On the table below, my body lay pale and still, chest rising only faintly as the machines worked tirelessly. And then I saw him, the surgeon. His calm demeanor was gone, replaced with panic as he barked orders, pounding on my chest. "We're losing her," he yelled. The sound was muffled, distant, as if I were listening through water. Despite the urgency, I felt no fear. Only curiosity. What was happening to me? That's when I noticed the light. At first, it was just a pinprick in the corner of the room, so faint it seemed almost like a trick of the eye. But it grew, expanding and brightening until it filled the space. It wasn't harsh or blinding, it was warm, inviting, and impossibly beautiful. Drawn to it, I moved, or perhaps I was pulled. The next moment, I was somewhere else. I stood in a tunnel, its walls swirling with clouds of smoky gray and soft white, like a living painting. There was no floor, yet I did fall. My arms hung limply at my sides as I glided forward, faster and faster. The light at the end of the tunnel grew brighter with every passing second, and with it came a sense of indescribable love. I had no control, no agency. I was simply being carried. When I emerged, the world before me took my breath away. Golden fields stretched endlessly under a sky so blue it felt alive. Flowers of every color bloomed in unison, their petals shimmering as though dusted with stardust. A mountain loomed in the distance, majestic and unyielding, yet somehow comforting. Standing before me was a figure, a man dressed in simple robes the color of sand. His hair shone like spun gold, and his eyes held a kindness so profound it brought tears to mine. I tried to speak, but no words came. My thoughts, however, seemed to reach him, and his gentle smile was all the answer I needed. He extended a hand, inviting me to step forward. I wanted nothing more than to run into his arms, to stay in this place forever. But as I moved, he raised a hand to stop me. His expression turned somber, and with a slight push, he sent me backward. "It's not your time," he said without speaking. The words echoed in my mind as I was propelled back into the tunnel. I screamed silently, begging to stay, but the light faded, and the world turned dark once more. When I opened my eyes, I was back in the operating room. The pain hit me first, a crushing weight in my chest and stomach. My ears filled with the sound of frantic voices. "Code Blue! Code Blue!" someone shouted. And then it happened again. I left my body, rising effortlessly above the chaos. I could see the nurse sobbing, her hands trembling as she handed the surgeon an instrument. The surgeon's face was etched with despair. I watched as they worked on me, but I felt no connection to the fragile form on the table. I was weightless, untethered, and free. This time, I floated higher. I passed through the ceiling, through the floors, and into the vast expanse of space. Stars twinkled around me, their light soft and welcoming. I felt as though I were being cradled by the universe itself, carried to a destination I couldn't yet see. And then I was there. The room was unlike anything I had ever seen. It was both immense and intimate, filled with a radiant light that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. Marble seats, smooth and pristine, lined the space like a celestial courtroom. At the center was a throne so grand it defied description. It shimmered with life, its surface shifting between the faces of a bear, an eagle, a lion, and a ram. I looked down at myself and saw I was dressed in a simple white gown. My hair fell freely, and my bare feet rested on a floor of polished gray marble that reflected my image. A tall man approached me, his caramel-colored skin glowing softly in the light. His eyes, warm and kind, met mine as he gestured for me to sit. I did as he silently asked, feeling a strange mixture of and serenity. He began to speak not with words, but with a voice that resonated within my very being. He asked me questions, each one peeling back the layers of my life, revealing truths I had long buried. To my right, another figure appeared. He was dark-skinned, dressed impeccably in a black pinstriped suit with a crimson tie. His eyes were unerringly sharp, blinking sideways like a serpent's. When he smiled, his teeth were jagged, predatory. Two others, equally unsettling, stood behind him, the man and a woman, their faces cold and expressionless. The tall, kind man, who I instinctively knew was Jesus, stood between us. His presence radiated calm and strength as he and the serpent-like figure began to argue. Though I couldn't hear their words, I felt their meaning. They were debating over me, my soul. My life was laid bare before them, every joy, every sorrow, every sin. The serpent figure pointed accusingly, his voice dripping with venom, but Jesus remained steadfast, his gaze never wavering. The trial felt endless, the weight of eternity pressing down on me. I wanted to cry out, to plead my case, but I was powerless. Then, Jesus turned to me, his eyes filled with a love so overwhelming it brought me to my knees. He extended his hands, showing me the scars that marked his wrists. "You are mine," he said, his voice echoing in the vast space. "For eternity." As his words settled over me, the serpent figure recoiled, his form flickering before vanishing entirely. The room erupted in applause, the figures in the marble seats rising in celebration. I felt a wave of relief, of belonging, wash over me. But my time there was short-lived. Jesus placed a hand on my shoulder, his expression gentle but firm. "You must go back," he said. I opened my mouth to protest, but before I could speak, I was pulled backward, the light fading as the world around me dissolved. I woke with a gasp, the sterile scent of the hospital filling my lungs. The doctors and nurses surrounded me, their faces a mix of shock and relief. Tears streamed down my face as I realized where I was and where I had been. Though I had returned to the physical world, a part of me remained in that heavenly place. The memory of it lingers, vivid and unchanging, a reminder of what awaits us beyond this life. And while I still don't fully understand why I was sent back, I know this: I am here for a reason, and I will spend the rest of my days trying to fulfill it.